Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Thursday. We are doing Pa's rulers today. I just waiting for people to pop in. We're just going to go through it, okay? I met the lovely Shirley and Bruce on last weekend when we were at, where were we? Newark, which was a lovely show in the end. Hiya Taryn and Jean, how you doing? So I spent some time watching what Shirley was doing. She makes it look very easy. I have to be honest, I am not finding it quite as easy as I was hoping. I don't know whether that's because I'm using the old version of the rulers. They've got a whole new range out and they're yellow and they're designed better for holding and all of this. So I'm going to show you what I've done and how to set up the machine and everything like that. Hopefully I'll be able to do that with the cameras that we've got. I do think that it's something that you really need to practice. It's not something that you're not going to be able to pick it up and just use it. Okay, so hiya to everybody. Hiya Ali and Carol and well, how do I do that? And Linda. Oh, Linda, long time no see, eh? Hiya Anne, and there's Kate Eileen and Sheila and Eileen. Oh, you're in. Oh, it's of Eileen, it's of interest to me. I really was hoping that I would excel at this, and I'm not sure that I do. I also haven't had chance to practice it very much. I'm having problems with my machine at home that the tension is so out. On my brother, I've got a tension disc and it's supposed to be in the 3 to 5 range, and I'm actually having to put it up to an 8 to get any sort of tension. So it's gonna have to go to the hospital. I think I'm going to send it off to brother and see if they can fix it. However, I learned something yesterday. I couldn't understand why it wouldn't go backwards, but there's a button on mine that if I've put it on the straight stitch with a spot, it won't reverse. It just goes up and down on a lock stitch, which I found really difficult. And in the end, it suddenly, you know how the cogs of your brain sort of click around? Well, mine did that very loudly yesterday. So we are going to we're going to have a go at this, all right? So I'm going to move the camera, I think. You're going to have to bear with me. I haven't set any of it up, okay? Hiya, Val. How are you doing? I haven't set anything up because I thought we'd start right from the beginning. So I'm going to move cameras around to see if we can do it that you can see, all right? So, I don't think I need this now. I'm going to unplug this because we're not doing any of... Oh, got my finger stuck. It would have been no good, would it? So I'm going to move this out the way over here. And we're not going to do any cutting, so I can move the cutting mat. I'm rearranging Sarah's house. She's going to go, I can't find anything! Right, so I'm going to move that over there, and we're going to move these. I'm trying to do it so that they don't obscure your view anywhere. So, let's go through what I've got here. So, Pa's rulers came out to us at the shop on a time where I was not here. I must have been on holiday somewhere, probably Crete. And they came out and they showed us how to use them, and they were showing us this. You'll recognise this if you've watched Pa's rulers. They use a lot of purple, okay? No idea why. Must be their colours. Okay, so these are what they left behind. Alright, you get a nice little bag. Look at that. How cool is that bag? Okay, so they left behind 3 of them. And that one is mine. Okay, and the straight ruler is the easiest one to straight forward. Okay, so these are the rulers that we've been left. Now, if you've seen them recently, they now have changed their design. They're quite a lot wider, so they're a lot easier to hold. And I think they might have the grips on the back. These have got no grips, and I found they slipped a lot more. And you also get a foot. Now, depending on whether you've got a low shank or a high shank, took me a while to work that out. Okay, so this is your shank bit. Okay, can you see? Let's put it on the overhead. So we're on a 2, 3. Okay, so you can see the shanks. I'm going to move it down so that I can see if it comes up on the thing. Right, so you can see the shanks. This is the shank bit. All right, and it depends on which machine you've got. Now, the Brother is a low shank. Okay, and so where you would have the screw going in to hold your elbow on, let's see if we can do this. I've lost you. Hang on, I'm coming. Did you fly? Okay. So, let's bring you over here. Okay, so this here is your shank. Now, if you look at your machine, where did I leave that? Okay, so you can see this here. So when your foot's up, you can see where these shanks go. All right, so that's the high shank, and you can see that this is the screw here. That this shank would never reach that screw there. All right. So for these, you would open the screw like that. Okay, and you're going to take off. Oh, hang on. Take off your foot first, and then you take off. I don't know whether this is a heel or the heel or the elbow. Let me just move you up so I can see your comments. Okay. Okay. So this then, because I've got a low, the Brother is a low shank, it would then fit here like that. This. The metal bar bit that sits on the top here will sit like your walking foot does on the top. Okay, so you're going to screw it in like that and then tighten it. Alright, so we're going to do that. Okay, now the one that I had was this. Nope. So, hiya Wendy, how you doing? I'm Pauline. Oh, I think they're an amazing idea. I'm just struggling with them. Now you can see this one I bought to go with mine. So I don't know how long I've had this. Okay. Oh, that doesn't like moving. I don't know how long I've had this. And I actually found this one a lot easier to use than these, but these have got grooves. I don't know whether you can see that. See where my nail is going in? These grooves, you've got one on the back and then 2 side ones and a front and a back groove in your metal thing, which you use with your ruler. All right, so let's put this back. Now that one's on there, we're going to use that one. Okay. I have to keep making sure that I keep them all together. Okay, right. So, because we're free motioning, you need to drop your feed dogs. Now, these teeth here, these are your feed dogs. Okay, and they're the ones that, as you move your needle, which doesn't want to go, it's getting stuck. Why is that getting stuck? The needle dropped. You need to drop your feed dogs, which go like that. Okay, so that you, when you're moving it, you move it around. All right. Oh, there we are. It's working now. I must have moved it slightly. Let's take it back up to the top. There we go. Okay, so where are we? I've dropped the feed dogs, and that I'm going to put this bit back on. Okay, I'm going to put that bit back on. Why won't that go? What have I got caught in that? Oh, there we are. Right, like that. You could put your quilting table on there. Okay. What's the next thing we do? We need to change our go back to the front bit. Hang on. Come back here. There we go. How's that? Are we still working? We changed the foot pressure so that it was a lot looser. This is what I mean about I've been having trouble with my my brain is firing off on 5 different directions, and you know I don't do well with that. This is what I mean by my tension going around. I was really struggling. I got it right towards the end, but going around a corner, and it sort of put me off a little bit, so I wasn't as in it as I was hoping to be. So we will visit this at a later date. The Pars rulers are not the only rulers out there as well. They're the ones that you've been seeing for years, but there's an elephant. There's a one with elephant in the title. They're out there. And there's one, begins with W. Oh, it was in my head yesterday. Begins with W. Wesley rulers. They're the same as well. And I notice that there are rulers that we can use with Daphne. They were being advertised on the J&B thing, so that might be interesting. Now, where are we? We've dropped the feed dogs. We changed our foot pressure. So we went into menu, bearing in mind this is on a computerized thing, okay? So am I westerly? Yes. So hang on, I'm just checking. I'm obviously on the right camera, because otherwise you'd have all been shouting. So on the foot thing, okay, there was a presser foot that's with Sarah. She's got a free motion thing here, and she can change the foot height for the free motion. On mine, I just had a pressure foot pressure, and I changed it to a 1. No, I'm going to go up there and change that to a 1, which made it a bit lighter. Okay, so I've done that. So if I OK that, you also want to practice practice your free motioning before you do anything else, okay? To try and get your speed. You're looking for how fast you need to move your hands when you're doing it, as to how fast, so that you know how fast to move the ruler, okay? So I have sandwiched up, let's put that there. Oh, this is the other bit of kit. This is a sheet with a hole in it, and you lay it on your machine so that the hole is where the needle goes through. Because of course, even though it moves the material, the needle always goes in the same space. Took me a little while to work that out. So that goes in there, and the sheet is supposed to make it easier to move. Strictly speaking, I didn't find it that much easier. If you've got the rulers and you don't have the sheet, do it anyway, because you'll find that it will slip itself. Okay, so I can show you the patterns afterwards once you've seen how I do it. Okay, so we're going to do it with this ruler here. Okay, I'm going to bring you over here. Okay, can you all see that? Is it in the right place? I have moved up, I've wadded up some of this. I've just got calico and I've just got some calico, and I'm trying to pull my threads through. Okay, of course I can't get that one through. That's bloody typical, isn't it? So I have trying to get my threads through. Now, I asked Shirley why she never pulls a thread through, and she said because people don't actually want to sit and watch. Right, they don't want to sit and watch people put their threads through. Now, you need to get your ruler underneath there. Oh, that's because my needle's down. Hang on. Okay, so the little knobble, the round cup bit, fits in the groove, and you can see that there are lines on there. Now, if you do it so that your ruler edge sits on the edge of your fabric here, okay, and sits along the edge of your fabric once it's, you know, straighten it off, you can then go from there. Okay, now one of the other things I haven't taken down is the size of my stitch, because I'm doing it free motion. Alright, now maybe that's something that I need to look at, is that I don't need to do that. Let's try that. I'm going to leave it on the 2.5 because I'm not actually free motioning. I want it to go in a straight line, don't I? So going along here, now I should have changed the colour of the thread. How are we doing? Okay. Well, that's working quite well. You're pushing it through, but if you're going steady, you don't want to, you know, you're pushing it through. Okay, so this is with the are you getting any of this? Is this working for you? So I've put that through like that. So this. Okay, so let's have a... The subtitles. It's because I keep stopping and umming and ahhing. I'm sorry, I'm not a subtitle person. Right, so this is the stitches, and I do think, I am wondering whether we change this cotton, because I've got a light cotton on. Where's all your cotton, Sarah? Where are they? There's normally hundreds up here. She's gone and hidden them all. Oh, there's a blue one. We'll use this cotton instead. We'll just thread this up. Hang on. I'll be with you now. Bear with me. So what else have you been doing? It might be better if you could use an overhead camera, but it means moving them all, and I'm a bit worried about changing them. I'll use the one on the machine, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. This is still not really dark enough. Where are your cottons, Sarah? In the box on the grey table. There you go. So we're going to do it with a black. Let's do it with a black. Now the threads, taking your threads thing down, I didn't ask her about that, whether or not you took it down as a free motion. When watching Shirley doing it, I mean, they've got a video. You can buy it as a plug-in for your computer. So I will switch the camera. Okay, right. Like I say, this was one of the things that I really got excited about, and I'm really not very good at. Okay, so let's try this. USB stick, that's right. One of the things that you stick in your computer. Okay. So I've taken the mat out to see whether it slides better. Now the new ones, there's more room to put your hands, okay, and I think as well they've got grips like Crafty UK put on the bottom of their rulers, so that there's a grip to it. Okay, so you're moving this along, alright, like this. I've taken the feed dogs down so that they move how I want it to move. Okay, so you go down to there. Now you're going to turn the ruler, alright. Now you can see that the ruler's got all these lines on it, so you can line up the line with the straight line. I'm going to line up, okay, and come across this way. Right, let's take that down. So you need to practice with your stitches and your moving, alright? Okay, so you're going to turn it and you're going to line up your line with the line you've just done with the line on the ruler. And we're going to go back up. So because you've got your feed dogs down, you're moving the fabric where you want it to go. You're moving the ruler, not the fabric. Okay. So I've stopped there. I'm going to turn it, and I'm actually going to miss the point. And we're going to come across like that. Now I've taken my stitch down. There we go. Okay, you can see I haven't quite got it in. Now I've taken my stitch down to 1.4, okay, and that I think is ideal for me. I'm getting a normal stitch length as I pull it through. When it was on the 2.5, I was getting a very loopy stitch. So now you want to do some markings in. So I'm lining up my diagonals here, and I'm going to sew in like that, and I'm going to come to a stop there. So there's a marking there that I've lined up with this line coming down, so I'm 2 lines up, and then you go backwards like this, and I can move this now, and I can line up the edge there of my point like that. I've lined it up with the bottom of the line that I've come out, so I know and I'll stop again there, and I can go back, and as long as you're keeping the ruler steady, you can see it's coming back to the same point, okay. And then how do we do that? There. So I've come out to that point there. It is not, like I say, it's not one of the easiest things I've ever done. Ah, I've just lost a camera. Okay. Hang on a tick. It's come unscrewed. Okay, there we go. So you can see from this, I have managed to get a leafy bit in it. So again, it's practice. I think to begin with I would want to work out a pattern before I started. I could do a circle. How's that? This one's the circle one. Can you see this? Can you see the circles in that there? I'm hoping that you can see that. So I can do a circle in this. Right. Go here. So your needle is going to sit in the middle of your channel. It's always going to be in the middle. Let me see if I can do this. So we're going to follow the channel all the way around. And then this one here, you can turn it, and as long as you make sure that your fabric is in the middle on the other side, line up your lines with your finished bit. And I can feel it slipping. See, it's almost a circle. You see that? So these things, you can do your clamshells. So let's start over here. Am I making sense to anybody? Let's go further down here. So your clamshells, you would take your to there, and then you're going to move this like that, okay, and let's take it right down to there and see if that's any better. Right, like this. Well, that would make a circle, wouldn't it? How would I do the clamshell? You know how you think you know what you're doing? Right, I think this is how you would do it. Right, I'm going to line up this line with my marking on my foot, okay, and then I'm just going to come in like that, and then I'm going to take this, so the middle of your last semicircles going round will line up with the line on your ruler. I'm not going fast enough. I need to make because I want my hands to go slower, I'm making my foot go slower. Okay, like that. Like I say, you need to practice. There we go. Let's cut that. So you can see that we're making a clamshell. Okay, so you could applique this, if you were really clever, you could put your fabric, use this as a template, put your fabric in and go over it again. You could reverse applique. Now what you would do is you put the coloured fabric underneath. So one of the ombre ones, if you put that underneath and you just cut out your clamshells, each one is going to go down a different colour. You could make a dragon. Ooh, I like that. These could be dragons with an ombre fabric underneath, a rainbow fabric underneath, and that would, each scale would become a different colour as you go down. The other ruler that we have that shows you about placement lines is this one here. Now this one is a swirl. So you would do the swirl, and when you turn it round, this, where you've sewn here, should follow this line. We'll give that a go. Why not? Are there any questions? Is there anything that I haven't touched on that I might have learnt from Shirley that you might want to know about? Oh, you can see the clamshells. So you can buy those stickies, and I think that would probably be a very good idea. So I've lined up my ruler on the line that I've just sewn. Okay. Almost. So it is a question of playing. Can you see that now? Where I've done it, you can see the wiggle. That would be nice in a border. But again, you have to play with how your stitching is. What did she do? She did one of these. I'm not sure whether it was this one. Let's take that back up to... I seem to have more success when it was a slightly smaller. Now, if I line up, there's a all degrees here. If I line up the one here, it'll make a more of a if I line them all up, it'll make more of a ellipse. Is it ellipse rather than a circle? And you can use this then to put in like leaf bits, and you move it over a little bit. I'll show you some of her patterns next, because I'm getting better at it. You have to give a girl a thing for trying. So this is something that we're going to, we have to progress, I suppose. The best thing is, I think it really is going to take a lot, Patricia. It takes quite a bit of practice. Now, this is what I've achieved, okay? Now, the back, you can see that I'm struggling with the going back, okay? So this is something that I would need to practice. And the next time we go to a show, which is Duxford, I think is our next show, I will go and sit with her, and but perhaps I'll take all this with me. I might buy the new rulers and see, and perhaps she can tell me why I'm going so wrong. This could be because I've not put this on a 0 stitch, so that when I go backwards, it seems to be when I go backwards that I have the problem. Going forward seems to be working fine. But the patterns that you can do with these rulers, don't get me wrong, they've got about 60 odd rulers now. She makes it very effortless, and she's actually brilliant at it. So these are some of the ones that they did and left with us, right? I don't know whether you can see that. See these here? Now, these will have been done with a steeper wiggle, okay? I think with one of these, or this circuit, this one, you would be able to achieve this sort of, it would be a different angle, but you could achieve a feather with any of those. That one, I would imagine, is done with the straight ruler. Look at that! That's amazing. It's very effective when you do it with variegated as well, isn't it? I have no idea how she did that one. So you can, you'd be able to put something in the corner like this. You could do, this one here has been done with the wiggle one. Where's the wiggle one? The wiggle one. Can you see how that fits in there? Like that. So what I've shown you is just the start of how to set your machine up and everything. So you need to just, they don't have sticky feet on the new ones. It should help, yeah, if it's all cut out on the bottom, all the etching. I mean, these are not etched very much. They are etched, but they're not a deep etch. I think, really, yeah, I think Sarah, put those on the Groves list. Is the sticky feet to go on the bottom. I'm sure we must be able to get them from there. I would try it with those, because a lot of why my patterns are not meeting up is because they're slipping. Using your quilting table, making it bigger so that you've got more room to move it, and practice. That's what I suggest. Now, I'm not going to give up on this. I will keep trying it, and we'll come back to this as I work out why it's going all loopy on the bottom. One of you might be able to come back and let me know, because you're all going to go out there and practice this now, aren't you? I will have a look at the other rulers. I know the lady with the elephant rulers, I can't remember what they're called. I know she goes to Malvern, so I will talk to her as well and see. And we come back with all these things, okay? But if you have Pars rulers at home, please put up your practice pieces and let me see them, because really, you should be able to surpass that, no problem whatsoever. We will see you next week. I won't be on Thursday. Sarah's on her channel on Thursday, so it'll probably just be the Tuesday, Wednesday. And if she's, I can't remember whether she's a 5 and 9 or a 1 and 5. If she's the later shows, we'll do a walk round in the shop on Thursday, and we'll show you some stuff that's going on. I'm watching the dog have a wee now. So I'm going now because I've got stuff to do, places to be, stuff to do. I will see you next week. Go off, go and have a go. Go and have a go, Jean, and show me what you've done. 1p? Oh, 1 p.m. She's on at 1 p.m. Thank you. We won't be here. I won't be there Thursday. You never know. If there's something new, I might come on at 2. And I will see you soon. I'll see you next week. Bye. No, don't go there. Press that. There.
End the video, love.
Oh.